Joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Genix.
Good morning, Dr. Abati.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I hope you enjoyed yesterday.
Okay, look at him do space.
Okay, you give me gist later.
You know I always debrief you.
I
always
do
that. Of course.
All the...
Tundu, I don't know how you deal with this man.
I'm judging you, Dr. Abati. We just talked about gossip.
I know there must be some gist there.
We just talked about gossip.
He's so excited. Good morning, Tundu. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Well, I noticed a little something, but I'll tell you.
Oh my goodness. Well, all right. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United Kingdom, the Duchess of Cornwall, Camilla, tested positive for COVID-19 on Monday, just 4 days after her husband, Prince Charles, tested positive for the virus. The news comes amid an ongoing mystery surrounding Queen Elizabeth's coronavirus status. In Ukraine, President Vladimir Zelensky on Monday urged state officials, politicians, and business leaders who have recently left the country to return within 24 hours to show unity with the nation amid fears of an impending Russian invasion.
I suggest you, state officials, return home in 24 hours and stay shoulder and shoulder with the Ukrainian army, with our diplomats and with our people.
In the United States, Virginia Jeffrey, the woman suing the embattled Duke of York, Prince Andrew, is claiming to have misplaced the notorious picture of her and the prince that was allegedly taken the night she was first sexually assaulted. The photograph, which has earned Miss Jeffrey $160,000 in media fees, was set to be used as evidence in the ongoing lawsuit. Prince Andrew's attorneys have argued that without the original hard copy of the photograph, there is no way to prove that the image wasn't manipulated. Under sports, Bayern Munich forward Thomas Müller on Monday was accused of allowing his horses to engage in unnatural sexual acts by animal rights organization PETA. Müller and his wife Lisa Tried run a horse farm in Germany, which they use in part to sell horse semen. The animal rights organization is now questioning the couple's practices after one of the horses in their care suffered an injury that was allegedly preventable. Finally, under entertainment, 51-year-old British supermodel Naomi Campbell reveals her daughter's face for the first time on the cover of the latest edition of British Vogue. The supermodel, who stunned fans when she announced the birth of her daughter in May of last year, just weeks after appearing on the runway of New York Fashion Week without a visible baby bump. In an exclusive interview with the fashion magazine, confirmed that her 9-month-old daughter, whose biological father has never been named, was not adopted, amid growing speculation regarding her biological parentage. Well, let's begin what's trending. Popular socialite Obinna, also known as Obi Cubana, was trending on Twitter after the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency on Monday announced the arrest of Abba Kyari, the suspended Deputy Police Commissioner. Obi Cubana, who is a close friend of Abba Kyari, was in January interrogated by the drug agency over alleged links to illicit drugs. The businessman was alleged to have received money from 3 convicted drug dealers in Malaysia, Nigeria, and India. While some Twitter users believe the searchlight on Kyari will extend to Obi Cubana, who claims to have made his money from hospitality, while Abba Kyari was arrested by operatives of the Nigerian police force, alongside 4 other police officers over their alleged involvement in a case of illicit drug trafficking. Let's take some reactions. Well, this is from Samuel, who wrote, "The music is getting very interesting. Those the gods want to kill, he will first make mad." Obi Cubana was doing whatever he was doing to make money quietly until the gods of his village visited him and Abba happened. Now, dude must dance to the music. Abba Kyari's career has ended. Nothing else. Well, unfortunately, these two have been tied together because of the funeral. And everyone is saying that, it's some sort of... I heard you also say earlier that it's some sort of conspiracy, that this arrest is quite fishy. I'll take a tweet before I take your comment, Tundu. This is from Evo, who wrote, maybe this is a plot to let him off the hook of the FBI or anything. Abba Kyari is so connected such that many big Nigerians may go down with him. Look at his probe panel lately. They couldn't come up with anything. This sudden drug news and arrest is suspicious to me. This is the rhetoric everywhere on Twitter.
I'm not sure about the link with Obi Cubana. I think a lot of people have had, random pictures taken with somebody all wearing the same ashrabe. It doesn't mean that you're the best of friends, so I'm not going to touch that one. But regarding the other one, Dr. Bati mentioned this earlier, that they're conspiracy theorists, but that's really not how it works. When, if or when Abba Kyari is to be extradited to the United States, that's to do with a particular offense that the FBI wants to charge him with. This drug one is a completely different charge. It makes not a blind bit of difference. If he is prosecuted for these drug charges in Nigeria and serves time in a Nigerian prison, the FBI can still, after that,
eventually
request for an extradition. It's completely different.
Yeah.
And I think the people are sort of mudding the waters and sort of, having this cynicism towards this sudden, quite sensational, in fact, extremely sensational breaking news about Abba Kyari, because the general public does not trust the establishment. And why would they, when you have such a decorated super cop in the car talking about a drug deal after he's had his Jumat service? I mean, it's a complete mess. It goes to show why people are so distrustful. So I don't blame whoever is distrustful, but that's just simply not how it works. It's a completely different offense. What would have helped Abba Kyari, actually, if that conspiracy theory actually had legs? If the government wanted to help him, they would have tried him for that offense to do with hush puppy in Nigeria. If they had done that, then the Americans could not extradite him, because that now offends the rule of double jeopardy.
Yes.
But Nigeria did not charge him or try him for that here. So this is that part is neither here nor there.
Well, the conspiracy theory goes further to say he is linked to a lot of powerful people in Nigeria. And so maybe the arrest is to, maybe slow the judicial process down in order not to extradite him to America.
It's neither here
That's
nor
another
there.
conversation going on.
Yeah, I don't know how Obi Cubana got into this story.
Yes, because he was just...
Because the papers in reporting, the statement from the police, the statement from the NDLA, nowhere was the name of Obi Cubana.
Yeah, it's Nigeria.
Now, you don't become, you don't get accused just because you are associated with somebody.
Exactly.
People, get accused if a case can be established against them by the relevant agencies, of government. And, there's too much trial by media, trial in the court of public opinion in Nigeria. So Abba Kyari gets arrested, and then people are talking about Obi Cubana just because they've been seen together. Okay, so if you are seen together tomorrow with somebody who has some issues to respond to, then of course do you automatically become guilty by association?
I mean, really.
And I don't think we should rely on the court of Twitter, where a lot of speculation, a lot of offensive things are said, to begin to diminish people's reputation.
Image,
people should be reminded that there's something called innuendo, under the laws of defamation. Even on the basis of innuendo, you can be charged to court, but because people don't go, deeply to enforce their rights here, people can say all kinds of things about you, even when they do not have the facts.
The proof.
Okay. Now, the Abba Kyari side of it, yes, we've discussed this at great length this morning about how this is really very untidy, how this is turning out to be a tragic story. But at the end of the day, an arrests have been made and all of that. What we can all insist on is that due process must be applied. Two, that a man is innocent until proven guilty. And the only platform that can convict a person is the court of law.
Absolutely.
And until the court of law, decides one way or the other, whether it's in the United States or wherever, all of us should just continue to insist on due process and fair trial. That is, the intelligent way to approach it, in my view. However, at a personal level, this is a tragedy for Abba Kyari, from super cop to, a man that has been accused of all kinds of things. Two, It's also very bad for the image of the Nigerian police.
Yes.
As a very prominent member of his team, a man that was even saddled with very special responsibility and described as a hero, by the Office of the Inspector General of Police, now finds himself here at the other, extreme of that reputational polarity. And third, of course, I think it's very disturbing from the statements from both the police and the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency that there is such a drug cartel, a drug link that goes all the way from Brazil to the UAE, to the UAE, back to Nigeria. That's quite unfortunate. But the NDLEA under General Buba Marwa has been quite proactive. And we just hope that what is being done in this particular case has nothing with some of those conspiracy theories that we have outlined, and that this is a case of the state, doing its job and doing so in a very professional manner. Because the question that was also raised is that it's most unusual for the NDLEA, to announce some of its operations and do so in a very dramatic fashion.
Light, yeah.
That's another thing that has raised this suspicion. The law must take its course if anything can be established, and the rights of the accused persons or the suspects, whichever category you put them, should be respected.
Yes, you're right by saying that the NDLEA have been doing well.
Very well.
Yes.
And I also wanted to say an example I cited earlier about Manuel Noriega, which obviously is not going to happen in this case. America did not wait for him to be extradited. They went into Panama and got him and killed a bunch of people in the process. But when he was done, when the Americans were done with him, when he served time in America, he was then extradited to France to serve time for another set of offenses. So that's just how it works. If he goes to prison in Nigeria, if he's convicted for these drug offenses, America will wait patiently and then call him for charges when he's done here. It's not going to go away, unfortunately.
Yes. Still on the NDLEA. We'll take another story. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency over the weekend announced the arrest of an Indian businessman, Vyapak Nutal, over the smuggling of over 134,000 bottles of codeine syrup into the country. Vyapak allegedly smuggled the codeine into the country through the land border between Nigeria and Niger Republic in Sokoto State. The NDLEA spokesman, Femi Babafemi, in a statement on Sunday, said the suspect had loaded the consignment into trucks in Cotonou, Benin Republic, and drove through the land borders via Niger Republic before entering Sokoto State at the Ilela border. He was arrested by the Department of State Services on Wednesday, February 10th, after credible intelligence revealed a trail of his dealings of the controlled substance. I mean, this is such a big deal. I mean, the menace of drug addiction in Nigeria among the young population is insane. I mean, look at this man single-handedly brought in that amount of this banned substance in Nigeria. You see those videos of these young children, these young boys and girls diving into the gutters, drugged out. I am so upset about this story, really.
This goes back to that point about, debunking those conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
If anybody high up there wanted to help Abba Kyari and, have some trumped-up charges to keep him in Nigeria, they would not use drugs. That is the lowest of the low. It is an extremely serious offense to be charged with. This codeine menace and the fact that he's in the north is also instructive. I remember a few years ago when the Senate said over 3 million bottles of cough syrup with codeine are consumed in only 2 states, Kano and Jigawa State. And like you said, it causes hallucinations, it causes all kinds of mental issues, organ failure, it even causes schizophrenia, the abuse of codeine. And the thing about codeine is that it's like any other opioid, it's in the heroin family. So while people are chugging this down thinking, oh, it's just cough syrup, they don't understand the gravity of what they're playing with and the long-term effects. And yes, you're completely right about NDLEA's work that they're doing. It's extremely important because what we're facing, we don't even understand the enormity of what is happening in our society. And that also ties in with the earlier conversation we had about the ASU strike. What is going to happen to Nigerian students staying at home, completely despondent? The last time it was 9 months.
Yes.
What are they planning to achieve in the space of 1 month that took 9 months the last time? Are we looking at 1 month, then another extension, then another? And you also have codeine addicts, a lot of women who are unhappy, maybe in abusive marriages, all kinds of things. There's a whole demographic of women becoming addicted to codeine, because in their minds, I'm not a drug addict because I'm not smoking marijuana. I'm not a drug addict because I'm not taking cocaine. All I'm doing is cough syrup. But they don't understand that they are in the grip of an addiction.
Yes.
I just think so much more needs to be done about this problem. It's destroying too many lives.
You're right, Tunju.
Okay, drug abuse is an international burden, but it's even more of a burden in Nigeria. A few years back, Nigeria used to be described as a transit point. And, Nigerian authorities and other observers used to boast that, oh, Nigeria, is just a transit point, that Nigerians don't take drugs. But with economic deprivation, with the collapse of values and standards within the community, we have seen Nigeria becoming a major consumption point for drugs. And that is why, government has had to set up the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency. And now the performance of that agency has been uneven since its establishment, but we've seen some fresh dynamism, as I said earlier on, under General Buba Marwa. But can that be sustained? Now, this particular Indian that has brought in Codeine, now, is probably someone that got arrested. There are probably hundreds more, that escaped, given the fact that our borders, are very porous, and there's great inefficiency at the borders. So it's just maybe 1 out of 5 cases or 1 out of, whatever number of cases that get, caught in the process. So that means a lot more needs to be done in terms of drug law enforcement. That agency needs to be, better equipped, particularly as we have, what looks like, responsive leadership in charge at this particular moment. Now, the menace of drugs is so bad that even secondary school students these days are on drugs.
Yes.
Those, I don't want to demarcate anybody, but a popular song, and young people also, saying that they are this, and they call themselves whatever. Okay, don't let me demarcate anybody.
Yes, I know.
But they take cannabis,
yes.
They take codeine, they take something they call SK, they take all kinds of pharmaceutical opiates.
What about the mixture
at the
that
higher
they
level,
fix in the bucket? What is that called?
That's what I call the pharmaceutical opioids.
Opioid.
And then at the higher level, you have people taking heroin, taking cocaine, and it's such a menace. And it's also part of the crisis we have with crime. The connection between drug and crime has been, well established by the United Nations. And that's why a country like Nigeria should continue to make the fight against drug trafficking a major priority for the safety of the society and for the safety of the individuals involved themselves.
For the future of Nigeria, we shall take our final story in Delta State with this heartbreaking story of 19-month-old Obinna, who was said to have been flogged to death by his teacher, Emeka Nwogbo, of the Arise and Shine Nursery and Primary School in Asaba. The mother of the boy, Gift Ohanezeze, has alleged that her son was flogged like a goat with 31 strokes of cane by the teacher, who is said to be the son of the proprietress of the school. Arise correspondent Jemima Boloko spoke to Obinna's mother and grandmother. Let's take a listen before we come back for a discussion.
I was going out, in short. I was going out when the children came back from the school. So, this very one say, Grandma. I say, Chinenye, what is that? I say, Mommy, Auntie, Uncle, and Big Mommy tied Obinna's leg, tie his hands, put it on phone on that room. They locked that room. They started flogging Obinna. Obinna was shouting, crying. Well, I was just thinking that it's a joke, like small kids something. So when I get to the Bogonogu now, my daughter called me and said, Mommy, did you see Obinna when he came back to us? I said, yes. Do you see his body? I said, no. He said, all his body was bruising with canes. I said, what? And I see Obinna's body. Her head was so hot. I said, go and bring his truck, let us see. If you throughout the night, we couldn't sleep. In the morning, we were in the school. Immediately we get down from the Okada from that school. Immediately Obinna saw that gate. He shouts!
We took him to FMC there, put him in oxygen. He died with the oxygen in FMC emergency ward. None of the woman's family was there. None of them bothered to come. carrying my son's dead body. We said, let's go to the school. On getting to the school, them got to the school with the police. The woman has already run away. The police said the house is locked. That they told them that the woman has packed out.
Oh, our heart goes out to this family. Tundu Abiola, I could not believe what I watched just now. I mean, arrests have been made, thankfully, and the school has been shut down. But how dare this happen to this young boy? I'm sorry, Tundu.
I can't.
Sorry. Dr. Abati.
Okay, very quickly, we have just about 2 minutes to go. I think, this happens again and again. We've had many cases. This is a 19-month-old child who has been flogged to death, and we think that justice must be done. Justice must take its course. No attempt should be made to sweep this under the carpet.
Yes.
Now, in this case and other cases that have been reported before now, this is an issue about corporal punishment. The Global Partnership on Violence Against Children says Nigeria is one of those partners. But isn't it ironic that in this same Nigeria, in Section 295 of the Criminal Code and in Section 55 of the Penal Code, and in all the Sharia sanctions operating in states of the northern part of the country, corporal punishment is allowed because the principle is that a parent, can allow his child, can use some force, to discipline their children. And that is what you find also in many of the schools. Now, I think that those sections encouraging physical violence against children or anybody should be outlawed.
Yes.
Should be removed from our laws. Now, the Ministry of Education, the Federal Ministry of Education and the State Ministries of Education, they also must come up with concrete policies to outlaw physical punishment in schools, because there is no guarantee that when you use violence against children, that you will achieve your objective. We have the Child Rights Act, we have the Violence Against Persons Protection Act, but there is also this superstition, spare the rod and spoil the child, and that, if you apply the cane or you engage in some kind of violence, then you will be able to train children. No, that's unacceptable. And it is not true that, violence will strengthen a child, okay? So this is the point. Instead, you will discourage pupils from going to school.
Absolutely.
Because if they think that they are going to be beaten, then who wants to go to that school where teachers have become violent and, people engaging in manslaughter? In any case, these are the issues in my view. Even the psychological trauma that these children will go through.
Did you see the mother?
At the end of the
mother,
day.
everything.
The future that is abbreviated and destroyed. These are the issues.
Very well said. I am
Very
sorry
unfortunate.
that I had to end What's Trending this way. May Obinna's soul rest in peace. That's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you tomorrow.